the most famous Viking in history raided France and England. Ragnar Lothbrok was a legendary Viking hero and king. His name was immortalized in the 13th century Icelandic sagas, but even back then, he was already in the distant past. Some historians doubted that Ragnar ever existed, but many Norse kings claim to be descended from him. In that sense, he is akin to King Arthur. According to the legend, Ragnar was the son of King Sigurd Ring. He was the biggest and fairest of men that human eyes have seen. Ragnar killed a giant snake that guarded the abode of Thora Borgarjord. The fair maiden became his first wife. Instead of armor, Ragnar wore a garment made from bear hide. This earned him the nickname Lodbrok, meaning shaggy trousers. After Thora died, Ragnar came across a woman of outstanding beauty and wisdom. She was living with a poor peasant couple in Norway. Ragnar married her, and then discovered she was a slog. The slog was the daughter of the dragon slayer Sigurd and the Valkyrie Brynhild. She bore Ragnar 5 sons, and all of them surpassed him in battle. So Ragnar sailed for England with only 2 ships in tow. He wanted to conquer the land and prove himself better than his sons. In England, he was overwhelmed by the forces of King Eilid. He was thrown into a pit of snakes where he made a prediction. In 865, Britain would be invaded by the Great Heath and army. That's exactly what happened, and the army was led by Ragnar's son, Ivar the Valmus. But there are references to Ragnar outside the legends. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle mentions a Viking raider from 840 AD. His name is given as Ragnall and Regenerus. Historians believe that both refer to Ragnar Lothbrok. This Viking warlord is described as a force to be reckoned with. He raided the coasts of France and England. Holy Roman Emperor Charles the Bald gave him land in a monastery, but Ragnar betrayed the deal and sailed up the Seine to besiege Paris. The Franks paid him off with 7,000 livres of silver. That's about 2.5 tons of silver. Ragnar went on to terrorize the shores of Ireland in 851. He founded a settlement not far from Dublin. He later raided both Ireland and the northwest coast of England. So it's unlikely that the Viking hero had died in the pit of snakes. Most likely, he perished sometime between 852 and 856. A lot more evidence exists about the historicity of Ragnar's sons. Ivar the Boneless, Jörn Ironside, and Halfdan Ragnarsson were all real historical figures. Halfdan was the commander of the great heathen army that invaded Britain. All these men claim to be descendants of the legendary king. Of course, this in itself does not mean he ever existed. Modern scholars believe most stories about Ragnar to be fiction, but they could have been based on a real-life prototype. In any case, it's true that the Vikings raided both England and West France, and Ragnar's fame lives on more than 1,000 years later. The 2013 TV series, Vikings, has arrived popular interest in this historical period. And of course, Ragnar Lothbrok is one of its most memorable heroes.